Talking Pro is all about getting to know the professionals behind the IT world. In today's episode, we have Tele-Pro's own CEO, Jesse Rodriguez. Now, before we begin, please do me a favor and tell your friends and colleagues to subscribe to Talking Pro. Your support and word of mouth will help grow and bring more awareness to these dedicated professionals. Thank you. Mr. Jesse Rodriguez, how are you today?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing well. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to have the opportunity to have you here at Talking Pro. We have, since joining Tele-Pro, it has been quite an eye-opening to discover how large of a customer base you have. And I understand that you all started this business 25 years ago.
Yeah, 26 years ago.
26 years ago. So tell me about that. How did that start?
Well, I guess 26 years ago, my dad started Tele-Pro, but before that, he used to work for the Carnegie Company. And he was just, he started with what old technology used to be, which is, data runs and sound systems and stuff like that. Clearly, technology has evolved from here to then, but it's just been a journey, to be honest with you, from the beginning of where he started and how he started. And, from him being himself to getting one technician, two technicians, and then being he was able to manage, from the accounting all the way to the work being done itself to now what we have is a great team, right? We have over 140, 150 technicians and
growing.
And growing, yeah.
Jesse, as I understand it, the solutions that you all have offered from the past to today, how has that changed?
When we started with Tele-Pro Communications, we started, doing your typical network cabling, your infrastructure, to your sound system, right? Your typical analog sound system.
Right.
And slowly but surely we evolved, right? Everything evolved from copper to fiber. So we started implementing the fiber infrastructure. And then clearly all your copper cabling went from your category 3 to category 5 to category 6. Now you're at 6A, which is a 10 gig to the outlet. So that's evolved itself. We've evolved with that, but we've also evolved with adding additional verticals, which are, for example, we started adding video surveillance. Mm-hmm. We started adding access control. We started adding the AV has just gone off the roof. Yeah, it's not analog anymore. If you're still doing analog, clearly everybody's trying to get away from the analog. So everything is just a simplified solution that can be easily managed mm-hmm. and networked. So AV has evolved dramatically. Then you have fire alarm, you have intercom, you have access control and all those other solutions. I think the biggest thing that we've tried to do with the industry, because we're able to capitalize on all these different verticals, is the connection between them all. Right. The interconnection between them all, and see how we're able to connect fire to your digital signage, to your video surveillance, to your access control. So it's been interesting, to say the least.
The simplicity of having the opportunity with some of our customers that don't have a full-fledged staff to monitor, just the alarm system, someone to just monitor the AV. You have limited staff with a lot of the customers that we have that need simplified solutions for manageability. So to your point, it's important that Tele-Pro has continued to evolve with the technological advances and making sure that we are keeping the forefront of top-of-the-line manufacturers, best-in-breed solutions for long-term commitments in their investments. Would you agree?
Yep, absolutely. I think that's been my biggest commitment, is bringing technology down to South Texas. That's the one thing that I capitalized early on when I started, kind of taking over the Tele-Pro role. I met with a lot of engineers and end users, and I wanted to know the why. What's missing? What's happening in the industry? Why are we not evolving at the speed that everybody else is? And one of the engineers made a very good point to me. He says, Jesse, there's a line from about San Antonio down where technology stops.
True.
So and I asked him what that meant. He goes, the problem is that every time that they try to implement a higher, better technology, they were having to bring companies from North Texas or a different place
Out of
of
state
Texas, yeah, out of
sometimes,
state,
right?
and try to implement these technologies. Well, the problem with that is technology always needs service.
Correct.
So bringing and having to have people come and do service for these items, sometimes it's something as simple as resetting a remote or whatever the case might be, was just a hassle. So people strayed away from having these new technologies implemented because of that. So that's where I started, you know, grabbing into that and saying, hey, you know, I got to build a team that we're able to not only implement but service these technologies.
Exactly. With all of the manufacturers that we support, our technicians are certified and trained. What exactly does that? How do we support that with our team?
I think learning is the key to success,
Yeah.
especially in this industry. I think learning, having my guys learning, always learning the new thing. You know, technology is evolving. So if you don't evolve with it, you stay behind. And I think a lot of the things that happen to companies in South Texas, and I can probably say throughout, you know, Texas or whatnot, is that the evolve, right? You have to evolve because if you don't continue to educate yourself or your technicians, you're as strong as your technicians, you know?
Correct.
So if you don't continue to educate them, you're not going to be able to implement the latest thing. Somebody else is going to implement it. And once that starts happening, you just start falling behind. You know, it's like, I like to see it more like it's like modular, right? If you don't learn the first step, you're not going to learn the second step. So
Exactly. No, I agree. And I get to meet, a lot of the manufacturers that come down to visit with us, and they have nothing but amazing things to say about the technicians and the team that we have and the support that we have and we provide to so many of our customers, which is why they continue to come back and making sure that not only are they buying local, but they're supporting local businesses as well, which is really important. I know we do the same thing when it comes to making sure that we are cultivating a community that continues to thrive and evolve, building commerce here within our own vicinity. I think it's important and such a tribute to you and your family because of the fact that from where you started 26 years ago and the evolution of Tele-Pro today with the sister companies of Safeguard and Power and so forth. I mean, it just goes to show that supporting local, helping our community thrive, building those opportunities for individuals to have an opportunity to grow with the company and learn these new technologies. It's really important, and I applaud you and your family for that.
yeah, it's been interesting. I think that was been one of the biggest things is that learning curve of getting technicians to understand the technologies that exist and building them from there, because I mean we started in an industry or in an area where it was very limited. So being able to do that and building the team that we're able to build is probably what my biggest success, I like to say, is a team that we're able to build. We got great managers, great technicians, great just leadership across the board. So, and I see, everybody helping each other, they don't have that old thought process of don't show somebody because they might take your job. They have the process, they're more helpful. They want to teach everybody what to do, how to do things, and see them evolve. So it's been fun,
It
to say
has
the
been,
least.
yeah, yeah. Well, I understand that, sometimes working with family can get a little interesting. What has been your experience working with family?
No, I mean, I don't think it's interesting at all. I think, especially with Tele-Pro Communications or everything that we have it's 100% strictly business.
Yeah,
It's not, there's no dad, brother, nothing.
right.
It's 100% business. And that's how we see it. It's, you know what I mean? Everybody's got a job to do and everybody's, held accountable for everything that they do. So, I mean, but one of the things that we've learned from early on, from my dad and my mom, in a sense, is hard work. So luckily we all have that, trait, is that everybody, works their butts off.
Right.
So I think it's been fun though. It's
Yeah.
fun.
It's never a dull moment. I mean, what I say when I say interesting, it's like the dynamics of everyone, even your dad. semi-retired, not wanting to retire because he sees the growth within the company. It's like, wow, like you don't want to let it go. You don't want to stop. I mean, Tele-Pro continues to grow even outside of the Valley, of course. We're always in Corpus Christi. We outreach out to San Antonio, where we have another brick and mortar out there, which is phenomenal with the warehouse. I mean, we have customers in Canada, so to me, it's like, wow, the progress doesn't stop, no matter with a success. Where I've noticed that at the end of the day, and it goes to, my core values is we're here to help. We're here to help people grow our community. I mean, would you agree?
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, I think it's fun because you're really able to help.
Yeah.
There's people and districts and customers and whatever it is. It doesn't matter whether you're in healthcare, whether you're a K to 12, higher ed, county, municipality. Everybody needs the latest technology.
Right.
Everybody is very welcoming when you service your product. I think it all comes down to service, right? It's like, we learned this very early on and when we were running the company. When I started running, my dad made it very simple. Hey, don't sell it if you can't service it.
Correct.
So I think service and availability to the customers is what makes us at the end of the day. I think we're able to service it, and I think everybody understands that. Hey, there's comes a point where there's going to be a big issue, and you need it taken care of ASAP,
Mm-hmm.
and you can count on us. I think that makes them feel good in a sense.
Absolutely. I mean, I get customer text messages with pictures of our vehicles, and they're all over the place, whether it's Roma or heading out to Corpus. I mean, it's so interesting for me to see our customers capturing photos to say, look, you're here when we need you. And that speaks volumes to your point, because if you're here to sell something and you want to be a local presence, you have to be there to support. And it can be as mundane and simple as, okay, do we have power? To something a little more complicated and complex. But I do find it fascinating to learn about the outreach of customers that we have that are quite diverse, like you said, banking industry, healthcare, schools, city municipalities. I mean, just looking out here, driving back from Corpus the other day, I saw the courthouse.
Yeah,
Wow, it's fantastic.
we're almost done.
We're almost done. We're almost done. The team seems so excited and thrilled to highlight the capabilities that we offer that maybe some of our customers are not aware of. So, is there anything you care to share about that project? Because I know it's been a long.
It's been a long project. We're ready to get out, but at the same time, it's one of those sad moments because you're leaving a great project. That project was a huge showcase of what we can possibly do, right? What the technology has evolved to today. I mean, from the AV systems to all the courthouse. I mean, everybody might just see panels and displays and whatnot, but the whole head end infrastructure and programming and everything that goes into it is phenomenal. If you ask
State
me,
of the
it's state of
art.
the art.
I love it.
Absolutely, they did great.
Yes.
Down to their infrastructure, their network infrastructure, they did a great job with the choice that they ran. The engineers that they had on both parts of it, right? They had the engineers that they had for the infrastructure and the engineers that they had for the AV did a great job. A lot of the times you see there's a disconnect between the project and what the owner wants. I think the engineers here did a great job getting with the county and understanding what they wanted and what they were trying to accomplish and where they were trying to go with this. And it puts a big smile on everybody's face, right? Because sometimes we get caught in the middle and we have to basically say, hey, we're just installing what was designed.
Right.
We weren't part of the original conversation. So,
Exactly.
sometimes we get in that little sticky moment
It
there.
can be,
Yeah.
but it's all
But this one was a
manageable.
success.
Good.
This one was good.
Yeah, no, it's looking like it's going to be phenomenal. I can't wait to see the end result. And I mean, truly seeing our technicians out there working day in, day out, making sure that it's all done to the specificity, and holding the needs of the county courthouse for what it's going to be used for. Now, turning that into, what we've experienced in recent years with the pandemic, you know, a lot of our customers requiring to go completely remote, what kind of solutions have you noticed really taking precedence because of the pandemic here in the Valley?
I mean, if you really think about it, our company's core is basically almost a full support of going remote, right? We are the infrastructure guys, we are the AV guys, we are the network guys. We are able to provide you the solutions. So I mean, I think it went a little out of control there for a while. You know, everybody wanted to go remote, everybody wanted to do Zoom meetings or team meetings or whatnot. Everybody's platform started going, you know, but I think everything that supports that is infrastructure.
Correct.
So that's what really took off, is the infrastructure to be able to support that. You know what I mean? Because whether you use Teams, Zoom, whatever it is, it's still it's a software based solution. But the infrastructure that takes place is what's available, what made it available.
Right. At the end of the day, the network infrastructure needs to be solid in order for all of the IoT solutions to function optimally. Would you agree?
Correct. Absolutely. You're as good as your infrastructure.
Exactly. So true. So if you had any advice to give your younger self,
My
what
younger
would you
self.
have?
That's
Look
a
at
hard
that.
one. That's a hard one. Just because I would like to tell my younger self to work harder or work longer, but I really did.
And you do.
You know, so I mean, how much is longer? How much is harder, right? I could probably, if I had an advice to tell myself, you know, when I would say maybe I would have loved to have started what I started earlier. You know, I really didn't take the path of working for Tele-Pro or, you know, doing what we're doing until I was coming out of college for whatever reason. And it just, you know, it dawned on me a little bit. And I said, you know what? I think this is a great industry. I think it's an industry that's going to evolve.
Yeah.
And it's going to take youth in order to evolve with it. Mm-hmm. So I think it's important. And I think I would have liked to have started earlier, but, you know, things happen for a reason.
Things happen for a reason. And, you know, at the end of the day, the evolution has been fast paced. And keeping up, like I said, with all of the technology advances, making sure our team is getting the proper certifications and trainings and education and providing that support is vital, especially with the solutions we're bringing down, you know, to our territory, our area, so that our customers don't have to seek out, you know, solutions outside of the state, because we want to support them. We're here, we're present. As far as we have Tele-Pro, we have Safeguard, we have Empower. What do these three companies have in common, and how do they differ?
They have me in common. No.
You're the common denominator.
No, I think the one thing that they all have in common, and the connection between them all, and what I've tried to do with every single individual company, was technology. You know, if for example, Tele-Pro speaks for itself. It has the infrastructure, it's technology, fiber, et cetera, et cetera. But from there, we built Safeguard, fire and security, where you have a fire alarm, you have security, you have video surveillance, you have these other industries that are completely, they can be independent, they can be analog, they can be simple, or you can implement very high technology to provide a good solution, great solution, right? So from fiber to cameras, or fiber to connect your fire alarm panels, you know, interconnect all your panels, to, you know, access control, and being able to for example, we have a customer being able to monitor the entire state of Texas, or all their schools from one headquarter, you know, location. I mean, those are where you start implementing technology. And for example, Empower is an electrical distribution. So you say, how do you tie technology to electrical distributing? Well, the way you tie it is being able to provide customers ETAs, tracking, information, but live, right? And it's a service that we're providing, and we're trying to tie the technology into it. So, just trying to do little things different so we can provide a good service to the customer at the end of the day.
Right. It's really all about the manageability of all of these technologies to make sure that it's, sourced out of one solution for ease of use. For, if it's a school district and they need to lock down, certain schools within a certain vicinity, the controls are within one manageable solution. If certain customers need that kind of support, right? So that's amazing. I think at the end of the day, all of these companies help support one another actually in making sure that our customers can receive a full fledged of solutions with one, you know,
One integrator.
one
Yeah.
integrator.
I think that's been probably the most appealing thing to, one, customers, of course, right? But also to contractors in a sense, is that we're able to provide a very high level skilled technologies that are being implemented across the state of Texas in a sense, and they have one person that's responsible for it. I think it's been a challenge because there's so many verticals. One, the amount of verticals that there is, and the technology, skill level that is required. So it really required us to build a great team, you know, from the fundamentals down to the implementation, the whole 9 yards. So it's been a challenge, but it's been very rewarding to say the least. Yeah.
Because you build it from the ground up. I mean, you're only as strong as your network infrastructure. Once that's established, everything else will thrive because it's a solid solution. And the manufacturers that we support and carry are, solid. I mean,
The best.
we can vouch for them, and I know they
Absolutely.
can vouch for us.
Yeah. Yeah, we take pride on the manufacturers we provide. We will not implement solutions that I would not implement in my own facility, and you keep it simple like that, right? It's we provide the best solutions in the industry, and that's what we're known for.
So, where do you see the industry going in the next 10 to 20 years?
That's an interesting question. I mean, I think just how much it's evolved in the last 10 years. I couldn't even wrap my head around where it's going. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's just technology is flying. I mean, years, and I love it. Um, I couldn't tell you. I mean, look, we're in already going from fuel to electric cars. That's all technology. I mean, if I think in the next 10 years, we'll definitely not have to be driving anymore and just have a car being, delivering you or taking you to wherever you need to go. But in regards to technology, I mean, faster. Always everything in technology is getting faster, getting smaller, getting lighter, getting better view, better visibility, just live,
And
so
smarter.
and smarter. So, but that's actually very interesting where this will all go, right? And the difference of every technology. I mean, if you think about it, right now we're running, we're going from a 10 gig backbone that, most districts and customers are going on a 10 gig backbone, which is your fiber optic, to now they're pushing 40 to 100. Well, that's crazy. That's fast. That's a lot, um, it's just I couldn't tell you. I mean, cameras. I can only imagine where they're going, right? With these cameras and lenses and views and just things of that nature. But I think really, I think like with technology, like I was mentioning earlier, how it all evolves. It's faster, better, clearer, smaller, lighter. So
Yeah. I mean, it's phenomenal, especially to see, just in our backyards at Boca Chica, we've got SpaceX.
hmm
Who would have ever thought that we'd have rocket ships leaving our area?
Yeah, speaking of that, I mean, we had the pleasure of doing all their fiber splices and infrastructure for this. So that was actually one of a very interesting project for us in a sense of, and the services that we still provide for them is all the fiber splices and stuff. And they're very particular on the decimals on the fiber splice that takes it because they want that splice as clean as possible. So they clearly understand technology. They clearly understand the importance of getting the job done right.
And
But
we
yeah,
have
that
the
is crazy.
technicians and the tools to do that.
Yeah, it, but that is crazy. We got rockets, launching out
Shooting.
of here,
I
Bronzo. That's
know.
crazy.
I mean, it's phenomenal. Again, just understanding the possibilities for our youth, for young adults coming into what career path do I want to choose? I think it has evolved in not just being into the legal or medical field, but IT. I mean,
Technology,
technology is everything.
absolutely,
It makes the world go round. It really
absolutely.
does.
It connects people.
It
So yeah,
connects.
I think technology is just one of the biggest needs
Mm-hmm.
today, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just the biggest demand that's happening today is the need to be connected, the need for speed, the need for visibility, the need to be able to remote. I mean, it's not I think at one point there was it was almost a want or
Mm-hmm.
people that what I mean because
A
it wasn't
luxury,
available. It
almost
was
like
a
a
luxury.
luxury.
Now
Yeah.
it's just an absolute need.
It's an
So I think that's what has changed it. And I think, and you start seeing the industry and the kids also from becoming, like you said, they're going to school and they want to be lawyers or doctors or, nurses or whatever the case is, which are all great professions, right? But you're starting to see the evolve also from kids now wanting to learn technology, now wanting to know how to do the infrastructure cabling or how to do all the different programmings, within the technology world, which is it's good. It's
It's
good to see
great.
that.
It is.
Absolutely.
I mean, at the end of the day, every industry, whether it's legal, medical, government, they all rely on the internet. They all rely on smart devices to either educate them, to perform surgical procedures, laparoscopically, to review medical documentations from someone that may be from another country. We can instantaneously provide them that with the right connectivity. So, at the end of the day, technology through the evolution has really provided us a greater span to support, to help our students learn, like, through these times of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Kids having to learn remote, kids having to figure out, ways to communicate with one another without being present either with their teachers or whomever. Therapists are now providing supports remotely. Doctor visits are now done remotely. So a lot has to be said for a solid network, which is what we provide. And what's your take on all of that?
I love it. It's a good thing and a bad thing, right? But it's a positive thing at the end of the day. It just the ability to connect, the ability um to do these things is almost leads to no excuse of a no, right? Or why it didn't happen. And perfect example, right? When we used to way back when in the day when people were building schools or whatnot, right? The way they would turn in their proposals to contractors, they would have to hand deliver them.
Right. I
So,
remember
I mean,
that.
imagine that you have five contractors that are bidding the job, and you have to hand deliver five proposals to each, for each individual contractor. One, now the contractor's receiving tons of proposals, right? Hand delivered. So then here came the fax. Then, it's evolving a little bit. Now here's the internet. So how did that help? I mean, if you really think about it, they used to build five schools a year. Now they build, I mean, it's unstoppable. Construction is the demand for construction for schools, for municipalities, for courthouses, for airports, for everything. It's just rapid growth. It's evolved. It's helped out the entire like the entire United States in a sense of being able to move at a speed,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Right. I mean, finding the right resources, finding the right materials, being able to not have to travel to those locations. You can clearly communicate review the inventories and have your solutions ready and prepared to deploy, to execute on, to build, what have you, in a much faster way, which is great. When it comes to inspirations, what do you find to be inspirational to you? What keeps you going every day?
Winning.
Winning.
Yeah. I like to win. That's my biggest inspiration. I like to win, but I hate to lose more than I like to win. So, but winning. I'm a very competitive person. I like to build my best teams. I like to be more prepared than others. I like to work harder than others. I will do everything I have to do to win. I will prepare my team, myself, my everybody to be able to perform at a certain level,
Yep.
one, and win at the end of the day.
Yeah. No,
That's probably my biggest inspiration.
right?
Oh yeah.
I see it. I see
Yeah.
it every day. I mean, we are really, beating up our manufacturers, getting the right discounts, making sure that, if there's a better solution at the end of the day, and we can bring it down.
Getting the customer to pay the right price for the
Yeah.
right service,
Yeah.
and that's what, being in front of the opportunity and in front of the customer's needs and wants, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, being able to provide the solutions to the customer, being able to bring the technology down
Mm-hmm.
and showcase it and be there and present it and be there first, and in a sense, and also be able to implement it and service it at a certain standard, at a standard that is expected. So
Right.
to me is like, I like to set the expectation level very high,
Mm-hmm.
so people have to meet it. If people, a customer should not have low expectations of service or low expectations of quality installs, or people that they have to deal with. At the end of the day, they have to deal with people that want to do their business, want to help them out, want to be the best in the industry.
Exactly. And I see that, I see, the teams going out for trainings. I see the level of supports that, and the growth within our company to help provide the right supports that our customers need, that our team needs, to ensure that we're responsive, that we're reliable, to make sure that, we're meeting the demands, because customer expectations and customer experience at the end of the day is everything.
Yes. Every company, I think, when you're having such a rapid growth, there's growing pains, right?
Mhm.
There's always, we cannot hire enough technicians and skilled technicians or train them fast enough, but we continue to evolve our own guys, and we understand the end game, the vision, what we're trying to accomplish and where we're trying to be, right? But
Mhm.
a lot of the times, perfect examples like the security industry right now, it's on fire. Everybody wants their solutions today.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we have to stay very loyal to the customers that have been loyal to us as well. So what we're doing is we're here to help everybody,
Yeah.
but there's we can't get to 50 districts at the same time. It's
Right.
impossible,
Right.
mathematically impossible. So it's just one of those things. It's growing pains. I wish I could get to everybody at the same time, but I think communication with the customer and being able to explain this to them, especially like, for example, delay of materials, or just projects that are lined up that that have hit the books before theirs, or whatever the case is, and try to help everybody out. But I think communication is key. I
It
mean,
is.
yeah.
Especially with, what the whole world is experiencing right now, supply chain issues. I mean, that's hit every industry. I mean, school districts are telling me I can't even get paper. So it's no surprise if my cameras aren't here yet.
Yeah.
Are you noticing that as well? I mean, I know we have, but what do you think is going to happen? I mean,
I don't know.
surely.
I hope it gets better. I mean, we try to prepare ourselves as
Yes,
much as we can.
we do.
We go and we buy tons of product, fiber, put in orders of fire alarm panels and cameras and things. But sometimes these products are very specific to a certain atmosphere or environment, or whatever the case might be, right? Um, so it's really hard to apply them to certain people, when it's not the right fit, right?
Right.
But I hope it gets better.
I hope so too. I mean,
Yeah.
and a lot of our customers, specifically in the, state, local government agencies, school districts, they don't have the time to get the three bids And I mean, I know we have contracts. Tell me about the contracts that we have to support districts to make, I guess a faster decision on procuring some of their items that they need, whether it's physical security or cabling for new buildings. What are some of the
Well,
contracts that
these
we have?
contracts are just co-op contracts, right? That, in specific, just allow a district or municipality or a state entity to be able to purchase something from us that guarantees them their maximum discount. So that's what these contracts are there for. But it also helps them speed up the process and the availability of getting their work done faster. So that, I think that's where it's coming down to is, a lot of these customers, and a lot of customers are now choosing who they want to do business with in a sense of service, because you can go and get, people to price out everything, and if the service doesn't come with it, if the quality of the install doesn't come with it, if the communication between the customer and the contractor does not come with it, I mean, what are you really buying, right? So that's what these contracts give, is availability for people to choose where they want to go and what they want to do. And fortunately for us, in technology, quality and service are the top two items that customers are looking for, and we're able to provide that. So it's helped us a ton. And one of the things that I tell manufacturers and people that we sell products for, it's, give me the products that are available today. The customer needs it, so let's give them a solution that's available today and not 6 months from now.
Right. Something that we can execute on,
And
implement, and deliver, in a
Yeah.
timely fashion, especially, with the demands of physical security post Uvalde. You know, being a former school educator, administrator, locking down my campus, and it wasn't a drill, is the worst feeling in the world. What are some of the solutions that we've been implementing to help support school districts?
There's been a lot of districts that have been very proactive before Uvalde, and it's unfortunate to say that sometimes, as human beings, we learn after we react to things that happen, right? But there's been a lot of districts that have been very proactive throughout the years of being of having secured campuses, secured districts or whatnot. One of the biggest things that you see today, and it's one of those things that has to be almost mandatory, right? It's a secured entrance. It's a secured school. Is the gate secured? Is the front entrance secured? Is there a way for an intruder to enter the building? And so it's all around the videos, access control, and your front door intercom system. That's one of the biggest things. Video surveillance is key, but now video surveillance has evolved. So today, what video surveillance can do is you can put a speaker next to a camera, and if there's an intruder at a certain place, that camera will send a message to the speaker, an automated message, and let them know that someone's seeing them, or let them know to please remove themselves from that area, or whatever the case is. So it's just the evolve, right? Like, you got to continue to do that. I mean, right now, districts and everybody, not only districts, cities, municipalities, everybody is big on security.
Yeah, it's a heightened sense of alert to ensure the security, and giving everyone a good sense of that they're
Peace.
at peace, knowing that should a lockdown need to happen, it can happen through automation, through smart solutions, with the right team to ensure the integration of all of these systems are being managed through one panel. So if it's the PD for, a city, a district, or the security team at a hospital, they can execute the procedures and the protocols to avoid mass, losses at least. But, I think that has been the most fascinating part is knowing that some cameras have the sophistication to get those alerts out and not requiring an individual to press a button to make an announcement. It's automated with the right programming, of course.
Correct. I think that's been our biggest focus right now is education on our customers and everybody there. That's why we do what we do, and we try to do podcasts, and we try to do just alert everybody in the public, and whether you're a private business, whether you're a school, you're anything, it is education is key, and understanding what is really out there, what you can do, and how you can secure your building. Because at this point in time, it's not only schools, it's Walmarts, it's malls, it's et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and the reaction towards stopping that person has to be quicker. Something has to happen. And the way I see it is, it's really simple. It's you know would you put your own kids in that situation, in that school that's not secured, in that building that doesn't have fire alarm, or doesn't work, or whatever the case
Or
is?
that
Absolutely
arena,
not.
that sports arena,
Yeah.
all of these are, different places where people meet, whether it's church, whether it's a football stadium. It's important that, we are educating our clients in helping them understand what are the solutions that can help provide some protection, the most protection for alertness, awareness, for immediate action. And I do see the value, as you know, we've partnered up for over 5 years now.
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily in this role, but I always sought Tele-Pro to assist with the solutions that my company's never had. So this partnership that we've developed, I think, has been phenomenal, and not only the opportunity, but also in understanding what other capabilities that Telepro offers with some of the solutions that I did not have so much of an involvement in, because that was your end. But now we've jumped into a whole other spectrum of solutions. So our partnerships that we now have in the IT arena with Cisco and Dell, Fortinet, it's been quite fast paced.
Very. Well, I think that was one of the missing links that we had that connected everything
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
This is we, like you said, that we do everything. We were doing everything. We were still doing on a net, that one piece on the network side of things is what drives everything. So it's important that our partnerships with Cisco, Aruba, HP, Dell, etc., are these are the leading vendors, or the leading manufacturers in the industry. So it's important that we partner with these guys, and we tie it all together, because all of our customers, everybody that we're doing business with, whether it's construction or whatever the case might be, everybody, we're running the infrastructure, we're connecting the cameras, we need to make sure that their backbone, that their infrastructure, their head-end system is up to par as well, right? So there's
Right.
nothing better than being able to provide an end-to-end solution.
One-stop shop.
Yeah.
Some of the engineers that you work with and architects, how does that relationship help support our customers?
Education.
Yeah.
Education. I think engineers are, a lot of these engineers, most of these engineers are very, very smart. So my job, that I've taken a big role, like I was mentioning earlier, is that I've taken a big role on education. It's bringing the technology down to see these engineers, to know about what's happening, what's the latest and greatest, how did this change, and why,
Right.
and how will this help the customer, right? Because it's education, because they're the ones that are meeting with the end users
Mhm.
at the end of the day, and they're able to provide solutions to them, or educate now their customer of what's happening in the industry, why it's changed, why did we go from 1 gig to 10 gig to 40 gig, why is it moving, you know what I mean, what's happening in the industry. So I think for them it's very important, because they're being hired by the end user to design solutions, and for them not to be able to design the latest solution, I think it's a little it's not very good, right?
Right.
Because there's already, the technologies are evolving, so
Yep.
there's no point in putting yesterday's technology when today's exists.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So tell me, what sets you apart from all of the other companies provide solutions like yours?
I think there's a lot of companies that provide good solutions. By all means, I think there's companies out there that, are that provide solutions. But I think a lot of these companies have one thing that they do really good. And one of the interesting things is that I get asked a lot. So what do you do best, right? Is it cabling? Is it fire? Is it security? Is it access control? What are you best at? And that's a very difficult question for me because I really think that I have the best at every team.
Yeah.
Every single vertical, every single one of them. I couldn't say that I do cabling better than I do AV because my AV department is phenomenal, right?
Top
But I
notch.
can't say that I do cabling better than fire because my fire alarm install team is top. I mean, they get it done,
Meet the
right?
standards, surpass them.
Yeah, from engineering down to the install to the operations, the whole 9 yards. And security is security. I feel like we're the best.
Yeah.
So it's a really hard topic. I think what sets us apart, one from the other, is I think that we hold the best technology, we service the customer the best, and we've been probably doing it the longest. There's a lot of people that are jumping into the industry because they see it's hot, right? But we've been doing it. There's a big difference between somebody that just started it or somebody that's rolling into it versus somebody that's been doing it.
Right, right. And has seen the evolution of the technologies evolve and grow and understand, like when we go into a customer, they may have the legacy equipment and we understand their pain points because we've experienced what it needs to take to get them to the next step and what the budgetary constraints may involve as well. And we're willing to provide that consultative approach in helping them provide, a growth plan, a procedure to ensure that at the end of the day, we're going to get them the best solution. We're going to be there to support it. And we're here to take care of them.
Yeah, we see it from different angles, right? Because we've been there and we understand what their needs are, what their constraints are, what they're trying to do, right? And as long as we understand their vision of where they're trying to take it, and it's just a path, right? It's building a plan to get them there.
Exactly. Jesse, thank you so much for your time. I know how busy you are. Really do appreciate the opportunity to reach out and talk more about Tele-Pro and hearing more about your story. I appreciate you sharing.
No, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, share, and give us a review. Thank you for stopping by and listening to Talking Pro with yours truly, Norma Barreda, Account Executive for Tele-Pro Communications, your IT systems integrator.